you can't fully appreciate the feeling of being alive unless you occasionally put yourself in conditions that make you wish you were dead. I'm baking out here. It's like, I think it's in the 90s. It's pretty freaking hot. Whew. Oh my God. Oh. Not even trying hard, it's just hilly and hot. So hot. I'm not sure why this trail is called Cold Springs. There's nothing cold about it. Maybe it descends down to a cold reservoir or something, I don't know. But I'm not looking to find out. Wear your salt stains with pride. Basically, this video is about my most memorable running moment, and I think it's a good one. It's in response to a collaboration that's going on with the FOD runner. I'll post a link to his channel down below. You think like your most memorable moment will be like breaking a time barrier, having some kind of achievement centered around a PR, because running is so much about the numbers, and that's how with running we're always trying to like improve ourselves. And so how do we evaluate that except with improvement in times year over year? But I was tempted to do that. I could have mentioned a lot of things, like most notably things this year as I've improved so much. But then I thought about something. I thought that if you use your most memorable moment as a time barrier, it's not really the most memorable in my opinion, because the success that you feel, that you derive from running a certain time, certain performance, it is very short-lived, because we're always improving, always chasing faster times, and with our improvement, our mindset changes. So, you know, if I think back to like just a year ago, the times I was running and what I'm running now, and I'm just like, why was I ever excited about that? Like, it just totally changed. That's only 1 year ago. So imagine like over a lifetime or even a few years, things that seem memorable to you now may not be in the future. So this memory though is timeless, okay? This moment, it's one single moment with another runner, 4 words they uttered to me during a race at the end that have stuck with me. And I'll start from the beginning. It was in elementary school, so 3rd to 5th grade. You know, back then kids are not as skilled, so there weren't a lot of team sports going on. It was mostly just like, you know, tag and kickball and running. And so if you could run, everyone ran just for fun. So if you were a good runner in elementary school, you were the king of the school. I already talked about my first race in another video. I ran a 24:08 5K at the age of 9. Didn't even know how far a 5K was, went out too fast, blah, blah, blah. And in the span of 4 races, I went down to 20:44. So every meet, every race I did, I cut a minute off my time. I improved by running with a local, like Central Florida amateur team. So all the kids were older than me, they were faster than me. You know, they had parents who ran in the past, and they try to push their kids to be runners too. My parents didn't know anything about running. They're just like, oh, you have a lot of energy, we should put you on this team. You know, you seem like you'd be fast. So I was kind of inexperienced. So I'd go there, get my butt kicked. I'd train with them on the weekends sometimes, maybe on the summers, not all the time. And then I'd go back to school and whoop up on everybody, because those kids, you know, they ran for fun. They didn't really train, I don't think. And, you know, they weren't as intense as I was. You know, they were too busy playing hopscotch and playing with their, you know, little Tamagotchis, and I was sitting there running all the time. Before school, it was one-on-one races with kids. So in 3rd grade, you know, you hear about, oh, so-and-so is really fast, you need to race them. Beforehand, they'd be all cocky, I'd beat them, and then their, you know, ego would be smashed. So I just went around over, you know, probably several weeks, beating everyone in my grade, and then I was basically considered the fastest 3rd grader. But I didn't want to be the fastest 3rd grader. I wanted to be the fastest kid in the school. So I do one-on-one races before school. Then during school, during recess, you know, we'd play freeze tag. And then during PE or gym class, we'd play, you know, capture the flag. I was always the secret weapon. Like, someone would always, I was first pick. Oh, we have 7 kids in the other team's jail. No problem, I'll save them. Like, it was awesome. It was great. There were 2 races every year that just put on by the school, so everyone at that school would do it. So you'd have, you know, hundreds of kids. And I remember there was 2 races. There was a turkey trot around Thanksgiving, and there was a jingle bell jog around Christmas. And in the turkey trot, I thought I was all high and mighty. Oh, I'm probably the fastest kid in the school. I kill everyone in the 3rd grade. With this kid, Austin, he was in 5th grade, 2 years ahead of me. Taller, faster, bigger, stronger, older. He beat me. So I finished 2nd. And then I was like, okay. I had new sights now. Like, okay, I never heard of this kid, but he's the fastest. And you only see these people like a couple times a year, because they're not even in your grade. So you don't have a lot of opportunities to race them or talk to them. And I just remember, like, that's when I knew, like, where I stood and where I wanted to be. So I trained hard mentally and, you know, just tried to hype myself up for the next race. So that was Jingle Bell Jog. That must have been December 1995, I want to say, 96, something like that. Long time ago. So anyway, get to the starting line, okay? And I already know who my competition is from the last race. So 2 laps around the baseball fields stands between me and immortality. So the first lap, he gets off pretty far ahead of me. I think, what am I thinking? Like, I can't beat this guy. He's just better than me, you know. And I just keep running my own race. 2nd lap, I notice that I'm closing in on him. He looks like he's getting tired. I can see his stupid floppy, like, bowl head cut flopping in the wind, like all stupid. And I'm like, I hate that guy's hair. Like, I just remember his hair looked really stupid. Anyway, so I'm like, I gotta beat him. So I get this rush of energy because I'm closing in on him. And it always feels good to catch somebody. So I pull up next to him with probably 300 yards to go, something like that. You know, we can see the finish. It's not that far away, just across the field. And he looks over at me, okay? Just winded, tired, just a beaten man, or a beaten boy, I guess you could say, 5th grader. And he looks over at me and he says, "This doesn't change anything." Oh, yes, it does. Yes, it does. I mean, back in the day, 3rd grade, innocent little nine-year-old, I didn't really have any experience with, you know, talking smack, so I didn't say anything back. I just took care of business. I beat him, right? And he was a 5th grader, so that was the last run he did at that school. So I never saw him again. Never saw him run in middle school, high school, whatever, because I'm sure we went to the same schools. And I became like the legit king of the school, fastest kid. There were like stories that were like made up about me. Like one day I ran like a so-and-so amount of laps around the school. You know, maybe I did like 12 laps or something. And like by the end of the day, people were like, "Oh, Chris ran 50 laps around the field during gym." Like, it just, yeah, it was awesome. I had kids asking for my autograph. They're like, "Oh, one day you'll be famous and this will be worth something." But I like to think that was a turning point in my life when that kid said, "This doesn't change anything," when I broke him. You know, it was like, just, it showed that like hard work can pay off. and just the competitive drive that I had, even at an early age. Maybe I've always had it inside me. And I like to think that it was a turning point for him too, because I never saw him run again. Maybe he gave it up. Maybe he lost some of his pride, some of his confidence. Maybe now he's out of shape, has a little bit of a gut, 3 kids, a mortgage, has an office job, and he's a mumbling pushover, and takes crap from his boss every day from his cubicle. Like, maybe that was his turning point too, and we just led these completely 2 separate lives just because of that one moment. But anyway, that was my most memorable moment. Maybe kind of ridiculous, but it just sticks out in my mind. After all this time, I still remember it. Like, it was, it's very vivid. What is your most memorable moment?